No, recording. Okay,
Perfect.
We're recording. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. And for those who are just watching the video for the first time, this is Oceans Trivia. Karina, Sarah, sorry, we forgot to start recording. So we just wanted to let you know we're going to be playing trivia tonight. So there are 3 different rounds, and there's going to be 15 questions in each round. So we sort of set up a little mock answer sheet over here. You just want to write it on a piece of paper because we have a lot of amazing prizes that we have for the trivia tonight. So what you're going to do at the end is you're going to be sending your trivia answers into backtothesea.ca. So we want you to make sure that you tell us where you're playing from. So if you're playing from here in Nova Scotia versus playing from other parts of the country, we have different prizes because we can't mail everything that we have. So if you're watching the recording, you have until Friday the 12th to send us your answers. And I think.
All right. So like Sarah said, we have some pretty amazing prizes donated from a couple of our partner organizations, one being the World Wildlife Fund. So from them, we have these amazing World Wildlife Fund hats and this dolphin stuffy that may or may not stay with me because I think it's really cute. We also have a marine print from the Back to the Sea Society, as well as a prize pack from Patagonia, and 2 prize packs from the Tear Shop right here in Halifax.
Sorry, just give me 1 second here. All right, so our first round is sponsored by Back to the Sea Society, which is a charity dedicated to sparking curiosity for local marine life off the coast of Nova Scotia, fostering a desire to protect the ocean. So the Society's long-term goal is to open a permanent aquarium in the Halifax area. Through their mini marine interpretive center, the Touch Tank Hut. It's currently closed right now, but Back to the Sea has been creating a lot of free online educational content for all ages, like Shell and Tell video series, which are incredibly cute. And they have a lot more exciting projects in the works over the summer. And it's also sponsored by Ocean Bridge, which is a cohort of Canadian youth committed to ocean conservation who deliver ocean service projects in their communities across Canada.
And I was one of the members of the very first cohort, and it's really great experience. And if you have any questions, just Google Ocean Bridge /OceanWise, and you can find out a little bit more about them. All right, so we're going to get into the questions now. The first question, and you thought your partner was clingy. This deep sea fish species, famous for luring prey with its dangling, glowing light, has a parasitic relationship with its mate. The male of this species latches onto the much larger female and fuses with her body. So we're going to read the questions out twice, just to give you a little time to think. All right, one more time. And you thought your partner was clingy. This deep sea fish species, famous for luring prey with its dangling, glowing light, has a parasitic relationship with its mate. The male of this species latches onto the much larger female and fuses with her body.
What is the name of that species? All right, question number 2. Atlantic Canada's oldest marine protected area, the Gully, is home to northern bottlenose whales and many deep water species of this animal that is better known for building rocky homes for itself in the tropics. You can see the little yellow box offshore is where the Gully Marine Protected Area is. And that question one more time. Atlantic Canada's oldest marine protected area, the Gully, is home to northern bottlenose whales and many deep water species of this animal that is better known for building rocky homes for itself in the tropics.
All right, next question. Question number 3. Underwater robots are used to explore the ocean's depths. There are 2 different types. One is an AUV, an autonomous underwater vehicle. The other is an ROV. What does ROV stand for? Oh, someone raised their hand.
You see that you have your hand raised. I'm just trying to go back to find the chat.
There's the chat. Can you slow down? Yes, we will slow down. All right, one more time. Underwater robots are used to explore the ocean's depths. There are 2 different types. One is an AUV, an autonomous underwater vehicle. The other is an ROV. What does ROV stand for? question.
Okay, question number 4, one of our first pop culture questions. What actress starred in the 2016 shark attack film, The Shallows? Pictured here. With that question again, what actress starred in the 2016 shark attack film, The Shallows? Did you see The Shallows?
I did. I did go see it. It's amazing. I love this actress, and she's married to a Canadian. That's a hint, I guess.
That's a big hint, I think.
Not if you don't know anything about pop culture.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. Next question. Question number 5. A group of whales is called a pod. A group of fish is called a school. What is a group of sea urchins called? A floam, a herd, or a gang? So question 5 again. A group of whales is called a pod. A group of fish is called a school. What is a group of sea urchins called? A floam, a herd, or a gang?
A gang of sea urchins does sound terrifying.
Yes.
Have you ever seen their mouths? They look like little grindy bits.
Gross.
Yeah, they're really, I think it's called an Aristotle's lantern. It's very entertaining. Anyway, I love them so much. All right, on to the next question. So question number 6, in Finding Dory, Dory learns that which cephalopod has 3 hearts? You can see this lovely picture in the background of the movie itself.
I used to work at an aquarium, and the only fish that any kid knew was a Dory fish. They would just point and be like, Dory! And you're like, yeah, that's it. It was very cute.
They didn't even know Nemo, just Dory?
The Nemos are very small.
Right. They knew Nemo. Oh yes, one of our fellow co-hosts who isn't with us, Lucia, also used to work.
Yes, that's where we met.
At the same aquarium. So that question one more time. In Finding Dory, Dory learns that which cephalopod has 3 hearts? So which animal has 3 hearts?
All right. Next question. What percentage of Canada's ocean is protected? Sarah works in marine protection. Do you have anything you want to talk to the audience about? Throw you on the spot.
Yeah, I do have a great before and after of this. So when we go through the answers a little bit later on, I'll actually show you the same image with our marine protected areas on it. So if you don't know what a marine protected area is, it's a part of the ocean that's really special, either the certain animals that live there or the types of habitats for these species, and you protect them from harmful activities. And yeah, we have quite a few of them in our waters, and we need more because our oceans are in trouble and we need to help protect them. Mm-hmm. So how much of our oceans do you think we have protected? What percentage of Canada's ocean is protected?
All right, great. Next question.
Oh, it is me. Sorry. Startup E6PR recently introduced edible and biodegradable 6-pack rings as a possible replacement for the plastic rings that harm marine life. What are these rings made of? So you can see it in the picture here. It might give you a little bit of a clue. I think that was one of the first truly sustainable things that I did as a child, was cutting up those plastic rings, and I still do it if I ever come in across them now as well.
They're sort of banned at our house.
So that question one more time. Startup E6PR recently introduced edible and biodegradable 6-pack rings as a possible replacement for plastic rings that harm marine life. What are these rings made of?
Oh, and if you have any questions or anything, could you just throw them in the chat? It just makes it a little easier for us to see and communicate with you guys.
And there's also some of our fellow collaborators that are in the chat as well. So they might be able to answer your questions if we don't see them right away.
All right, question 9. A little hint from our music earlier. How many thingamabobs did Ariel have in The Little Mermaid? Thingamabobs? I've got blank. Won't catch me slipping. I'm not going to give you the answer. So, how many thingamabobs did Ariel have in The Little Mermaid?
Oh, whoops. Sorry, I'm trying to write down the
Volunteer at Back to the Sea Society is where you...
right. I think it's maybe Joe, you can help
Yes.
me here.
Someone else can respond.
Volunteers at backtothesea.ca. We'll also put that up again at the end of the trivia as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just copied the Zoom meeting link back into the chat for everyone if they wanted to click on the thing they're already
Very
in.
helpful. All right, question 10.
Which marine mammal can hold its breath the longest? Is it the Cuvier's beaked whale? Is it the northern bottlenose whale? Or is it the sperm whale? It is not any of these species that is currently in this picture, which is a humpback whale.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to throw you off.
Yeah. It's not what's in the picture. What's your favorite whale?
I don't know. Those are hard. I saw a southern right whale when I was in South Africa. That was my first like real whale experience, and I cried, as I do a lot of the time when I'm near ocean animals. I just sort of start crying.
Nice.
I almost checked myself off the side of a boat because I saw a pilot whale in Cape Breton.
The first whale I ever saw was a North Atlantic right whale. I made my parents take me whale watching when I was 16, which is a big feat because my mother is terrified of water and of boats. But they took me, which was really, really great. But my favorite whale is actually the killer whale, and I've never seen one in real life.
I saw them a couple years ago when I went to Vancouver.
I gotta read it one more time.
Oh, right, sorry.
So one more time, which marine mammal can hold its breath the longest? Is it Cuvier's beaked whale? Is it the northern bottlenose whale? Or is it the sperm whale? Oh, Ocean School's first whale was a humpback whale in the Pacific.
Very cool.
Are all these whales in Nova Scotia? I don't believe we have Cuvier's beaked whales here, but we do have northern bottlenose whales. I don't believe we get sperm whales
I have no idea.
either. But northern bottlenose whales actually live in the Gully Marine Protected Area that we spoke of earlier.
All right, question number 11.
Killer whales are actually dolphins. Jefferson, you are correct. Killer whales are actually dolphins.
Thanks, Jefferson. Drop that knowledge. All right, question number 11. What percentage of the oxygen we breathe is produced in the oceans?
Yeah, the ocean does a lot of really important things that we don't even realize.
All right, one more time. What percentage of the oxygen we breathe is produced in the oceans? Okay, question number 12.
So, how many Sharknado movies are there?
Not enough. Never enough.
You can get a bonus point if you can name all of these Sharknado movies. I almost said the answer there.
I held myself back.
Have you seen any of these?
Yes, me and my partner did do a Sharknado movie marathon because they were just on TV, and we just watched them all, not all of them, but most, a lot more than necessary.
Don't say how many there.
Yeah, they're fun. Like, they're campy. It's a good time. You're just like, yeah, I want this like shark to come flying at me from a tornado. Brilliant.
And they actually help conservation. I have a friend, part of his research in graduate school was funded by one of the Sharknado movies. So lots of great things as well.
Philanthropists,
Yes.
really.
So how many Sharknado movies are there?
All right, next question. What artificial structure is being used to restore marine habitats by mimicking coral structures? Hint, there are 472 in the Halifax harbor.
There are actually soon to be 473 because I saw on Twitter today that they're actually building a new one of these over on Alderney Landing right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they'll be deploying a new one soon.
Yeah.
They asked a question and I knew the answer because of this trivia.
I checked out the Supernova ROV video. They did a underwater tour of the Halifax Harbor, and it was really cool because we don't love the idea of swimming in the harbor, but if something else can do it for us, then you can still check it out, and it's really cool.
Although there is a group of people who are trying to get an accessible place to be able to swim in the harbor, which is really interesting. Yeah, shout out to the Clean Foundation. It is the Clean Foundation who is making these structures. Again, I almost gave away the answer.
Terrible co-host.
Yeah.
All right, number 13. What artificial structure is being used to restore marine habitats by mimicking coral structures? Hint, there are 472 in the Halifax Harbor, and also they're pictured here.
All right. Question number 14. In 2018 and in 2019, the American organization OSearch came to Nova Scotia to tag what animal? I went out with them twice and did not see them tag an animal either time, but it was still a really cool experience to be on their boat and see how they do this type of tagging. Because then they're able to.
You're going to give away the answer again. I know it.
Somebody else in our chat was also out on the boat. I believe I was out with them. Lucia.
One of these animals is named Jefferson, which is the name of one of our participants tonight.
Yes. There's lots of different fun names of these animals. So in 2018 and 2019, the American organization, it's a long day, OSearch came to Nova Scotia to tag what animal?
All right, so final question for this round. This is my favorite question. Question 15. What is the name of the Australian television show about 3 teenage girls who discover they can turn into mermaids? It's on Netflix. We'll talk about it later.
She's been talking about the show a lot the last couple of days. I have never seen it.
So good.
But maybe I'll have to watch it now.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Somebody else used
Thank
to
you,
love this
Joseph.
show.
You used to love this show too. All right, one more time, because if you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. What is the name of the Australian television show about 3 teenage girls who discover they can turn into mermaids?
Although my fondest desire when I was a child was to turn into a mermaid. I was obsessed with The Little Mermaid. I watched it probably every single day.
Agreed.
Yeah, I love it so much.
It's the best one of all the Disney movies. And Aladdin, because.
All right, are we
Ready for answers?
So check your answers along with us, everyone.
All right, let's go. The first answer, this animal is the anglerfish. And if you want to Google anglerfish, they are super weird creatures.
They're the ones that have that little dangly ball in front of them. But yeah, the male is much, much, much smaller than the female, and he just attaches right in her side.
And a really fun Halloween costume. I think a couple years ago, I had a friend dress up as an anglerfish. And it was very cute.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, I think, Lucia, you were at that party. All right, question 2.
So Atlantic Canada's oldest marine protected area, the Googly, is home to northern bottlenose whales and many deep water coral species. So this is actually a picture of one of the corals. This is, I believe, the sea corn coral that lives, they can live kilometers down below the bottom of the ocean. So a lot of people don't realize that we have a lot of corals that live in deep waters, but we do, and they're amazing, and they can be really, really beautiful colors, and they're very sensitive to disturbance.
All right. ROV stands for remotely operated vehicle.
The actress that was in The Shallows is Blake Lively. I'm going to mention she has a Canadian husband, Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Good dude.
Thanks for the hint.
A group of whales is called a pod. Fish, school. Group of sea urchins is called a herd. Though I preferred gang. I think they should change it. I like gang better. Kind of fits their vibe.
But I mean, it kind of makes sense to me that they're called a herd because they graze on algae. So,
No,
you know.
No, a gang is so much cooler.
I agree with you. It's cooler, but
yeah,
this makes sense. So the cephalopod that has 3 hearts is an octopus. Octopuses have 3 hearts. They're my favorite invertebrate, my favorite animal with no bones. Yeah. The cows of the sea. Yeah, sea urchins are the cows of the sea. Well, I think manatees actually get that.
Yeah, those are also pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, question 6. 14% of Canada's ocean is protected. Sarah, do you want to kind of explain this photo a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So the different colors represent the different types of marine protected areas that we have. So there's lots of different organizations, the federal or provincial governments that create different protected areas. You can see there's lots of them. They come in a lot of different sizes. And this time last year, we asked the same question. And at that time, only 8% of our ocean was protected. So we've gone a long way in just 1 year. And we've actually gone a really long way in just a few years. When I started working for WWF 5 years ago, we had less than 1% of our ocean protected. But the government committed to protecting at least 10% by 2020. And they passed that last year. And they are now committed, hopefully, to protecting 30% of our ocean by the end of 2030. And I'll help them as much as I can.
So hopefully next year when we ask this question one more time, the number will also change.
Yeah. So 14%, I agree, it's not a lot, but it's a lot more than we had, and we'll keep moving the dial.
All right.
So the startup E6PR made 6-pack rings out of wheat or barley. So they're different grains, which is really cool because that will make them compostable.
Yeah. And also a cool way to use their waste products from the product.
Oh yeah, from brewing the beer. Didn't even realize that. Light bulb.
Yeah. Ariel had 20 thingamabobs.
I think she should sing this.
Thingamabobs? I've got 20. It's not even singing. She just says it. I'll do it later.
So the marine mammal that can hold its breath the longest is Cuvier's beaked whale. It holds the record at 2 hours and 17 minutes. Remember, this is a mammal like us that has to breathe air. Imagine holding your breath for almost 2.5 hours. Bananas.
I can do that. It's fine.
Yeah.
Next question. Not impressive. All right. The 70% of the oxygen we breathe is produced in the oceans.
Fun fact.
Very cool.
That's a lot.
Trees can't do anything. Not helpful at all.
So there are 6 Sharknado movies. They are Sharknado, Sharknado 2, the second one, Sharknado 3, oh hell no, Sharknado 4, The Fourth Awakens, Sharknado 5, Global Swarming, and the last Sharknado, It's About Time.
How many Oscars did they win?
Oh, they must have won
like
a lot.
5?
Yeah, a lot.
Just the naming alone. Amazing. All right. So there are 472 reef balls in the Halifax Harbor.
Soon to be
473.
And OSearch was here tagging great white sharks. And as Jefferson told us, one of them is named Jefferson.
Yes. And I've actually been swimming with great white sharks in South Africa.
Very
They're
jealous.
so cool. Very cool.
And swim with other sharks, just not great whites.
All right. Question 15. This amazing Emmy award-winning show is called H2O, Just Add Water. It's so good. Go watch it. It's fun.
I was joking about her having watched it as a child. She's like, no, I was in high school.
Yeah, we used to watch this in high school. Yep. Down under. That's a very good guess.
That's also
Matt.
a good guess, Matt.
All right. So now we're getting into round 2. Round 2 is brought to you by Ocean School and Canoe. Ocean School is a joint initiative of Dalhousie University, the Ocean Frontier Institute, and the National Film Board of Canada that is a free online learning experience meant to strengthen learners' personal connection to the ocean. Aligned with curriculums from grades 6 to 9, Ocean School uses powerful storytelling, immersive technologies, and interactive media to advance ocean literacy. And Canoe is a network for the advancement of ocean literacy in Canada. As a volunteer-run organization, Canoe provides a platform for learning, dialogue, and communication about ocean literacy in Canada.
Yeah, and Ocean School has a lot of great resources online. I've seen they have like 3D goggles. You can put them on and you're like swimming with whales. It's so cool. So Lucia popped it in the chat, oceanschool.ca, and they have free education resources on their website. So check them out.
Please check them out.
All right, so question number 1 of round 2. What is the name of the googly-eyed device that cleans up trash in the Baltimore Harbor? Also, it's super adorable.
Pictured here.
This is what it is. I'm sure it cleans a lot of trash because, as we've seen, I'm sure you've just been walking around outside and have seen lots of garbage. Yeah, hopefully if you're like me, you go and do your own little cleanups. But yeah, so this cleans itself. So what is the name of the googly-eyed device that cleans up trash in the Baltimore Harbor?
I like that they just threw eyes on it for like no real reason other than just making it cute.
Making it cute.
I like that. I like making things cute for no reason. As anyone who knows me can attest. All right. Question number 2. The invention of scuba diving made it possible for many people to explore the ocean in new ways we haven't been able to before. If you receive a PADI Advanced Open Water Certification, you can dive down to what depth? 30 meters, 12 meters, 18 meters, or 10 meters. There's also the feet on there.
We thought we'd give you both options just in case. And do you dive, Karina?
I do dive. I'm a rescue diver. Though the time I got my rescue certification, I did almost drown the person that I was trying to save.
Oh, no.
It's hard.
It is
I
hard.
did do it eventually. Obviously, I did it because I passed, but the first time didn't go super well.
Yeah, I also have my advanced open water and did some of the rescue diver certification, and we had some pretty big swells the day we were doing our training, and it was really interesting. I thought I was going to get my face smashed into a boat.
Mm-hmm. Those are the best dives. We were like, oh, I thought I was going to die, but I didn't, and it worked out nicely. All right, one more time. The invention of scuba diving has made it possible for many people to explore the ocean in new ways we haven't been able to before. If you receive a PADI Advanced Open Water Certification, you can dive down to what depth? 30 meters, 12 meters, 18 meters, or 10 meters?
All right. What does Sonar stand for? You can see a nice submarine here. It's looking for things under the water, making little sounds. So what do you think that Sonar stands for? Honestly, I did not know the answer to this question.
Yeah, I don't think I know it now. We wrote the trivia. All right, next question. Which animal holds the title for the world's most endangered marine mammal with an estimated population of just 10 individuals?
This question makes me really sad.
Yeah, this is kind of a womp womp question, unfortunately.
Yeah, this animal is often caught in fishing gear.
All right, one more time. Which animal holds the title for the world's most endangered marine mammal with an estimated population of just 10 individuals?
Yeah, I think it's almost up for the title of the most endangered animal, period.
Sounds right. All right, next question.
What is the term used to describe abandoned fishing equipment in the ocean?
Yeah, the Loch Ness monster is more endangered. I was supposed to go to Scotland this year, so that was a bit sad. I was going to go see Nessie.
Nessie will always be there, though.
She's in my heart. That's all that matters.
So one more time, what is the term used to describe abandoned fishing equipment in the ocean?
All right. I think we've switched questions.
I think we do. We'll just change.
Why don't you read this one?
Okay. Shark Week on the Discovery Channel airs a wide variety of educational programs about sharks. In 2013, it aired a fake documentary telling viewers that the largest shark that ever lived had been found and was roaming the oceans, despite being extinct for millions of years. What is the name of the shark species it portrayed? And to this day, people still think that this species is alive in our oceans, but it is not. It is very, very extinct.
I think we want it to be alive.
For sure.
But so cool.
It was a shallow water species that ate whales. If one existed, we would know.
Danielle's asked, it aired a fake documentary on purpose or a joke? I think it's just entertainment.
Right. I think it did tell people that it was fake, but very small, and I think at the end. So people didn't realize when they were watching it that it was fake.
There's one about mermaids too.
Yeah. So one more time, Shark Week on the Discovery Channel airs a wide variety of educational programs about sharks. And in 2013, it aired a fake documentary telling viewers that the largest shark that ever lived had been found and was roaming the oceans, despite it being extinct for millions of years. And what is the name of the shark species it portrayed? This picture is not of that species.
All right. Question number 7. In Moana, which actor of Polynesian and Nova Scotian descent portrayed the god Maui?
We watched this movie a few weeks ago.
It was like really early in our quarantine. We were like, we have to watch Moana, obviously.
Why not?
So good. I think we've watched it a couple of times since it came out, and I think I know all the words to the soundtrack.
It's pretty great. Strong female lead. It's about the ocean.
Check.
It's great.
Adorable animals.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah, Hey Hey is a pretty great character. Yes, Hey Hey.
Someone just wrote Hey Hey.
Jacqueline.
Great. Question number 7 again. In Moana, which actor of Polynesian and Nova Scotian descent portrayed the god Maui?
Question number 8. Which marine species holds the title for the fastest animal in the ocean, with speeds clocking in at 110 kilometers per hour?
I can run that fast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, me too, for sure. I barely drive 110 kilometers per hour.
Or at all.
Or at all. That's fair.
So funny.
We love each other.
We do.
We're around each other a lot.
We've been living together for 3 years.
Actually, we met because Karina interned with us at World Wildlife Fund.
And she became obsessed with me and then demanded I live with her.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
So one more time, which marine species holds the title for the fastest animal in the ocean, with speeds clocking in at 110 kilometers per hour?
Okay. Question 9. What pop ingenue sings the song Ocean Eyes?
It's not how I would pronounce that word.
That's
looking at it.
Exactly how I would pronounce it.
Ingenue.
She's got great style. Love her.
Ooh, a watch along with Lin-Manuel Miranda would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He is definitely a genius.
He is a genius.
I still haven't seen Hamilton though.
It's coming to Disney Plus.
Ooh, exciting.
We'll be watching it.
Yes.
In this house. What pop ingenue sings the song Ocean Eyes?
All right. Question number 10. Which ocean animal can regrow its limbs if it gets torn off? That would probably be a handy thing, but alas, it does not work that way for people.
Nope.
Which ocean animal can regrow its limbs if they get torn off?
I think there's the photo is a hint as well.
Perhaps, maybe.
Perhaps. Question 11. You might have used a natural sponge before in the bath, but what is a sea sponge? Is it a plant, an animal, or an algae?
This is a lovely picture of different kinds of sponge
Mm-hmm.
and a grouper
Grouper.
in the background.
This is unrelated to the question, but when I worked at the aquarium in Toronto, there was a big grouper there, and he was really sweet, and we were able to like get him to start eating out of our hands. It was like my goal that he would come up to me and ask me for food, and he did. It was the best day of my life. I was a diver there. I was in the water.
Yeah. She was supposed to be feeding the fish.
Yes.
We'll just put that one.
That was my job.
Please don't feed wild animals.
All right.
One more time.
Yeah. You might have used a natural sponge before in the bath, but what is a sea sponge? Is it a plant, an animal, or an algae?
All right. Question number 12. The climate crisis is causing widespread impacts on the ocean, including causing waters to warm and for different species to move around from where they originally lived. The ocean also absorbs most of the carbon dioxide that we produce, which is changing the chemistry of the ocean. What is this process known as? So I'll give you a bit of a hint. It can actually cause things like coral to dissolve. So the climate crisis is causing widespread impacts on the ocean, including causing waters to warm and species to move around. And the ocean also absorbs most of the carbon dioxide that we produce, which is changing the chemistry of the ocean. What is this process known as?
All right. Question 13. Noise pollution generated by ships can harm animals and is heard worldwide. How many vessels are on the ocean at any given time? Is it 20,000, 60,000, or a million? There's a really great documentary. I can't remember the name of it.
I don't know what you're talking
Sonic
about.
Seas. Sonic Seas is a really great documentary to watch if you want to learn more about noise pollution in the oceans.
But we do need shipping because most of the things in the world are transported by ships. Mm-hmm. It's a lot more economical of a way to move things around than by flying them.
Yeah. And we live right by the harbor in Halifax, so we see and hear the ships constantly. Mm-hmm. There's some really big ships that come into the Halifax harbor.
It's mind-boggling how big some of these ships can be.
Yeah. All right, noise pollution generated by ships can harm animals and is heard worldwide. How many vessels are on the ocean at any given time? Is it 20,000, 60,000, or a million?
All right. Question number 14. What is the largest marine protected area in Canada? Is it the Laurentian Channel Marine Protected Area? Is it Taliruptipamanga National Marine Conservation Area? Is it Tuvayuptuk Marine Protected Area? Or is it Scott Islands National Marine Wildlife Area? So I feel like this is another one of those questions where you know or you don't, so you have a 25% chance of getting the answer right. Is it the Laurentian Channel Marine Protected Area between Newfoundland and Nova Scotia? Is it Taliruptipamanga National Marine Conservation Area in Nunavut? Is it the Tuvayuptuk Marine Protected Area in the High Arctic? Or is it the Scott Islands National Marine Wildlife Area in British Columbia?
Let's see, how do you have no idea?
All right.
Next question. Last question for this round. Every year, Canadians participate in the Great Canadian Shoreline Cleanup, helping keep our shorelines clear and collecting important information about the trash they find. What are 3 items of the top dirty dozen items?
Yeah, so if you ever want to do your own trash cleanup, you can look up the Great Canadian Shoreline Cleanup. They have data cards that you can fill out with the information about what you're finding when you're doing these trash cleanups. And your shoreline doesn't have to be just on the shoreline. When you think about it, all water eventually leads to the ocean. Collecting this type of information is really good because it helps us understand, what are the different types of trash that we're finding. And if we know what we're finding, then we can try to help solve the problems of how that stuff is getting into the environment. So when you do a cleanup, collecting the information is really helpful. So yeah, it's the Great Canadian Shoreline Cleanup. It's a partnership of Oceanwise and the Wildlife Fund.
Yeah, I participated in the very first Great Canadian Shoreline Cleanup out of BC in Ontario. That could be wrong. That's what I remember from when I was like 14 and I was in the newspaper. My mom still has a clipping of it. Aww. Me in like a green t-shirt with like a garbage bag.
I think we're in year 26 of cleanups this year. Okay. Yeah.
Nice. So one more time, every year Canadians participate in the Great Canadian Shoreline Cleanup, helping keep our oceans clear and collecting important information about the trash they find. What are 3 items of the top dirty dozen items?
Yeah, we just got the Dirty Dozen list updated yesterday for World Oceans Day. Great Canadian Shoreline Cleanup released their data. So I have the fresh stats on what the top 12 most commonly found items on our shorelines are.
Hot off the presses, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're going into our answers now. Answer for question 1. What is the name of the googly-eyed device that cleans up trash in the Baltimore harbor? It's Mr. Trash Wheel.
So cute.
So adorable.
Okay, question number 2. The invention of scuba diving has made it possible for many people to explore the ocean in new ways. So with your PADI Advanced Open Water certification, you can dive to 30 meters or 100 feet.
Can't be there for very long, but you can get there.
No, you really can't. And it takes you a long time to come back up because you have to go up very slowly.
Yes. But it's cool to say you've been down there.
Actually, I have a seashell in the bathroom that I collected on my first dive. It was, yeah, I normally don't collect shells, but I have one from that dive and it was really special to me.
Nice. So sonar stands for sound, navigation, and ranging.
And the most endangered marine mammal is the vaquita porpoise. It lives in the Gulf of Mexico, I believe, and it's very, very endangered.
So the term used to describe abandoned fishing equipment in the ocean is ghost gear.
I realized afterwards that the copyright on this photo actually gives away the answer because it says the Global Ghost Gear Initiative.
Yeah, so there's a hint in there if you wanted to go find it.
So Shark Week on Discovery Channel aired a documentary about the Megalodon. And there are people who actually are getting fights with scientists on Twitter saying that Megalodon exists and we're hiding the information from them. We would know if this species was still there. It'd be cool if it was, although I don't know if a shark that eats whales would be fun to have around. But, Mr. Trash Wheel. Thanks, Lucia, for sharing more about Mr. Trash Wheel.
Question number 7. So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson portrayed Maui. And so his father is African Nova Scotian, which is super cool. So he's like a local.
He needs to come visit us once the pandemic is over.
Yes.
So the marine species that holds the title for the fastest animal in the ocean is the sailfish. I should have actually put up a picture of the sailfish, but it's pretty cool looking and is super fast.
Question number 9. Billie Eilish sings the song Ocean Eyes. I did not know how to pronounce her name for so long. I just read it and I was like, who is this person? Now I know.
So the animal that can regrow its limbs if they get torn off is the sea star, the starfish. Not every type of starfish can do this, but some of them can, which is pretty cool. You'll see one sometimes will just have like a little short stubby arm and then a bunch of long ones. I think in the bottom of this photo, you can see it has 2 longer arms and then one little stubby one that's growing back.
All right, a sea sponge is an animal.
Yeah, fun fact.
Fun fact.
So the process where the ocean is absorbing carbon dioxide and making it more acidic is called ocean acidification. And this is actually becoming a pretty big problem in a lot of parts of our oceans because it's so acidic that animals that create shells that have calcium carbonate can't do it, or they can't do it as easily as they used to be able to. So yeah, ocean acidification.
Question 13. There are 60,000 vessels on the oceans at a given time. Matt is studying pteropods.
Oh, nice.
Which is why he felt the need to interject them into my event.
Friends who love the ocean.
Yes.
So 60,000 ships. So the largest marine protected area in Canada is Tubayuktuk Marine Protected Area in the high Arctic. It was protected last year in 2019. And yeah, it took us to the 14% mark where we're at. Remember the day that this got protected, I was traveling and I heard the news. I was just like crying on a beach. It was great. I was very happy.
All right, question 15. The dirty dozen items are in order for most commonly found.
From last year.
From last year. Cigarette butts, tiny plastic or foam, food wrappers, bottle caps, paper, plastic bags, beverage cans, plastic bottles, straws, other packaging, foam, and coffee cups.
Yeah, so last year rope was in the top 12, but it got bumped this year and coffee cups were found more often than rope. Yeah, so
make sure you're sorting your waste properly and also limiting your plastic and single-use plastic use.
And if you see litter and you have a way to safely clean it up, please do.
Toss your PPE correctly. We're seeing a lot of that on the ground recently. All right, so round 3 is sponsored by our organization.
Yeah, so World Wildlife Fund is Canada's largest international conservation organization working to stop the degradation of the planet's natural environment and build a future in which humans live in harmony with nature. So I'm on the Oceans team, and we work on all 3 coasts to help increase the sustainability of ocean activities and work in partnership with others to help protect important ocean species and spaces.
The Dalhousie Office of Sustainability works to incorporate sustainability concepts and criteria into policy and planning, building and retrofit projects, and operations.
All right, so question number 1. The wandering albatross is the world's biggest seabird. How wide is its wingspan? Is it 7 feet, 11 feet, or 20 feet? Even 7 feet, like that's huge.
That's taller than me.
Yeah.
Which it's not saying much, but I'm quite short.
She's quite short. You can't tell in this picture, but I'm
I'm basically taller as you.
Yeah. I'm 6 inches, 7 inches taller than she is. Tiny human.
Who's counting though, right?
So one more time, the wandering albatross is the world's biggest seabird. How wide is its wingspan? Is it 7 feet, 11 feet, or 20 feet? They can easily socially distance. Absolutely.
It's true. All right. Question number 2. In Frozen 2, the dark sea is guarded by a water spirit that takes the form of a horse. What is the name of this spirit?
I really need to watch this movie.
So good.
Yeah.
I cried. I did cry. It's obviously not as good as the first one. That's just.
I mean,
facts.
there's not many sequels that are ever better than the original.
I like Shrek 2. That was the first one that came to mind that I liked.
To be fair, Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie, and it's the 3rd.
Sharknado 2.
Okay. Yeah, Sharknado 2.
Amazing. I mean, they just get better. The 6th one is really where they hit their stride. All right, question number 2. In Frozen 2, the dark sea is guarded by a water spirit that takes the form of a horse. What is the name of this spirit?
All right. Question number 3. What % of life lives in the ocean? Think of how much of the earth is ocean and how deep it is. How much of life do you think lives there?
Sorry, just my favorite question is coming up.
Oh,
I just thought of it. I'm excited.
this picture really, really makes me want to go diving. Although I stuck my feet in the ocean yesterday here and it was freezing.
Yeah, it's real cold here.
So one more time, what % of life lives in the ocean? Life on Earth, I should specify, lives in the ocean.
We don't know where the aliens are.
That's fair.
All right, question number 4. Coca-Cola's holiday commercials often feature polar bears and penguins frolicking in the snow and enjoying refreshing beverages. On what continent can you find these 2 animals living together in nature?
Yeah, there's not 2 continents. What continent?
What continent? They're very cute.
They are very cute. I used to love these commercials growing up.
They're adorable. All right, question 4 again. Coca-Cola's holiday commercials often feature polar bears and penguins frolicking in the snow and enjoying refreshing beverages. On what continents can you find these 2 animals living together in nature?
Fun geography question, trying to remember all the different continents.
Yeah. All right.
Question number 5. Filters, bags, or balls can be added to your laundry to prevent the release of this material into the environment. So this material can come off your clothes and get into the water. And it can be a big problem because then it can get into wildlife, eaten by other things. But you can add filters, bags, or balls to your laundry to prevent the release of these into the environment. What are these materials? Most commonly known as?
All right. Question 6. In Finding Nemo, what is the name and address written on the mask that led Marlin and Dory to Nemo? This is our second Finding Nemo question.
Well, one was Finding Dory.
Sorry, they're different, very different.
They're very different movies. And Marlin says this about 50 times in the movie.
Yeah, I think like anybody who's watched this movie can rattle it off the top of their head. If you can't, then you have to go watch it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Necessary. But would you say is Finding Dory a better movie than Finding Nemo?
There was like a beluga in the tank beside
You speak whale?
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Anyways, in Finding Nemo, what is the name and address written on the mask that led Marlin and Dory to Nemo? I mean, it's adorable. It's a kid's movie, but like, it's just not right.
She points at the inaccuracies of life in aquariums.
Yeah, a beluga beside a whale shark. It's just, they couldn't be in the same water. That's neither here nor there. They made their money. They're good.
Yeah, the water temperatures would be very different.
All right, question 7.
What is the largest fish in the world?
Mm-hmm.
I have swam with this type of fish before. It's great.
I haven't. It's on my list. When I can leave the province.
That's a hint. We don't have
We
them
do
in
not
our
have
waters.
them here.
What is the largest fish in the world?
All right, question 8. The ocean is home to the largest living structure. What is it called?
Oh, you've been there.
I've been there. I've not gone to this specific
Thing.
location.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be really cryptic.
Yes. But this is a photo of it. It's a hint. All right, question 8 again. The ocean is home to the largest living structure. What is it called? All right.
All right. Karina just laughs and laughs at this picture. What Canadian band is named after the deepest part of the ocean? Also pictured here.
Yeah. I love the care that, was it Shen?
Shen
took to make this perfect slide.
Yeah, Shen, who's interning with WWF this summer, put our PowerPoint together for us, which was incredible, and came up with this glorious slide.
Beautiful.
So one more time, what Canadian band is named after the deepest part of the ocean?
I'm going to frame this and put this in my house. All right. Question number 10. 1/3 of the global supply of this non-renewable resource is provided by the ocean. Sorry, that we shouldn't have put the question mark that spot, but 1/3 of the global supply of this non-renewable resource is provided by the ocean.
Yeah.
So what is the non-renewable resource? We tried to word this question and it did not come out in our favor.
We're making a statement instead of a question.
Yeah.
But what is the non-renewable resource?
Professional operation here, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen. We know how to English. There are master's degrees in this room. We
Yeah.
couldn't figure out this sentence.
Oh, I taught English for 9 years
Mhm.
and managed to do something grammatically incorrect.
Yeah. Okay. One more time. 1/3 of the global supply of this non-renewable resource is provided by the ocean. No question mark.
No question mark, period. Question number 11. Scientists and researchers use many different tools to measure data. What is the name of the tool that is used to measure water transparency? You can see in this photo, the scientist is using this device to measure water transparency.
Brings me back to my university days, collecting data in gross Ontario lakes and ponds.
I bet the water was not very transparent.
No, no, it was mostly mud.
Nice. All right, one more time. Scientists and researchers use many different tools to measure data. What is the name of the tool that is used to measure water transparency?
All right, question 12. Dalhousie has Canada's largest university aquatic research facility on its campus. What is it called?
Sorry to all the people playing along that don't live in Halifax.
You should know because Dalhousie is the best university in the world.
We might have both went to Dalhousie.
We did. It is the Dalhousie swimming pool. The forbidden swimming pool, I guess.
Yeah, don't swim in this pool. You might get in trouble.
Ooh, go Dal. All right, again, Dalhousie has Canada's largest university aquatic research facility on its campus. What is it called?
Yeah, and it's been there for quite a number, at least 20 years.
Yeah, a really long time.
Yeah, and they test lots of cool things in this facility. All right. Question number 13. What 1993 movie featured a young troubled boy becoming friends with a captive killer whale, ultimately leading to the whale's release? This movie is the reason why I became a marine biologist.
It's really good. I did have the third one on VHS, which meant that like as a child, I watched the third one more than I've seen any of the other ones.
Which is insane.
It's good.
The first one is the best. The second one's okay.
The third one is the one to watch a million times as a child.
So one more time, what 1993 movie featured a young troubled boy becoming friends with a captive killer whale, ultimately leading to its release, to the whale's release?
In the movie.
In the movie.
Not really.
Well, also in real life.
Oh yeah, eventually. Yeah. All right. Question 14.
Oh, I did not know. Being Urim was in the 2010 movie.
There's a 2010?
Don't.
I was about to say. Okay. Question 14. Every year, the ocean absorbs billions of tons of carbon from the atmosphere, storing this as blue carbon. Name 3 coastal ecosystems that act as carbon sinks.
There's more than 3.
You could just make 3 though.
Right.
There's one pictured here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a hint. It's 1/3 of your answer, if you know what it is. Okay, again, every year the ocean absorbs billions of tons of carbon from the atmosphere, storing this as blue carbon. Name 3 coastal ecosystems that act as carbon sinks.
And a carbon sink is something that stores the carbon that we are putting out into the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And our last question of the night, according to the Beatles, what was the color of the submarine we all live in?
We all live in a blank submarine. Okay.
So one more time, according to the Beatles, what was the color of the submarine we all live in?
Mm-hmm. All right, now we're going into our answers for round 3. Yeah.
So the wandering albatross is the world's biggest seabird and has a wingspan of 11 feet.
That is almost twice me.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. In Frozen 2, the Dark Sea is guarded by the Nook.
It's a great name.
It's a deep cut question.
All right. 80% of life on Earth lives in the ocean, which is pretty important. So we really need to help protect our oceans.
This was a trick question. You cannot find polar bears and penguins frolicking in the ocean and enjoying refreshing beverages anywhere on the planet.
Yeah, as you can see, the green is the range of polar bears and the blue is the range of penguins. So sorry, trick question.
Trick question. We got you.
So filters, bags, and balls can be added to your laundry to prevent the release of microfibers. So a lot of the clothing that you have that's made of plastic type materials sheds little pieces of fiber, and these can get into the water and into animals.
Finding Nemo's, the address that led Marlin Dory to Nemo is P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
Yes.
Zach and Sarah said in North America, you can find them in a zoo. Polar bears and penguins
Half
together.
points, Zach and Sarah. You can have that.
So the largest fish in the world is the whale shark. I love whale sharks so much.
Cool.
Diving with or snorkeling with them in the Philippines, and it was incredible.
The largest living structure is the Great Barrier Reef, and that is down under. Brought it back.
And you can see this from space, which is really awesome.
Very cool.
The Canadian band that is named after the deepest part of the ocean is Marianas Trench.
I love this. We can give this this picture to the winner.
Yeah. If you want this, we can print it off and send it to you.
And the non-renewable resource is oil.
All right. So this scientist is using a Secchi disc to measure water transparency.
And Dalhousie is home to the Aquatron.
Which I think is a pretty great name.
It's a very cool name.
Question 13 is Free Willy. And the whale Keiko was eventually released as well, although it didn't go very well. But yeah, Free Willy was a great movie.
Great movie. So there are several coastal ecosystems that act as carbon sinks. So they're kelp forests, mangroves, seagrass beds, and salt marshes.
And question number 15, obviously we all live in a yellow submarine.
Yellow submarine.
All right, so one more time, we want to put up the email address that we want you to send your answers to. It doesn't matter what your score is, we're going to draw for the prizes. We have 2 different prize lots, so we have a print that can be mailed to anywhere in Canada, but the rest of the prizes we'll have to deliver them here in Halifax. So make sure
Contactless delivery.
Contactless delivery, yes. So just make sure that you put where you're from on your answer card, and just send us a photo of your answers. And if you're watching this as a recording, the contest will be open until Friday, June 12th, and we'll do the draws on Friday afternoon. We wanted to thank our partners for this event. So Joe and Magali from the Back to the Sea Society, Lucia, Leah, and Isabel from the Ocean Bridge program, Shen with WWF, who made our beautiful PowerPoint presentation. We wanted to thank Oceans Week Halifax, Ocean Bridge, Back to the Sea Society, and WWF for the prizes, and obviously to all of you for participating.
And so just, there's a quick typo. It's volunteers with an S at backtothesea.ca.
Yes.
So that's just a typo. Volunteers at Back to the Sea Society.
Yeah, well, we can go back into the Facebook event and put the email address there as well to send your sheets to, just in case you need that after the presentation as well. So happy Oceans Week, everyone.
Hope you're celebrating. Spend some time by the ocean and with loved ones. So if anyone has any other questions or wants to get in touch with us, you can email volunteers at Back to the Sea Society and they'll redirect you to us. But with that, I think we're going to say good night.
Have a great night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. There. Bye.